Hi guys, answering a question for Mike Thomas while I'm on break for a second. His comment reads, "Hi David, really interested in following your journey on YouTube. As myself, someone that has passed around a bit with different opinions. I'd be interested to know if you were happy to share. You had a neuro give you an MSA diagnosis, probable or clinically established? Question mark. And then one of you said that male then said early Parkinson's, YOPD, right? Young onset. He's had the reverse, basically, saying it looks like atypical um, Parkinson's, and then other people say no, it's multi-system of some type of disorder. Would you be interested to know if and when you're given a definitive diagnosis and whether they classify it as probable or clinically established? Once again, really appreciate your helpful videos sharing your experiences." Oh, really easy. The After the first few doctors, which were not neurologists or they weren't movement disorder neurologists, um, my neurologist at IU Health actually did the test with DAT scans and said, "Hey, it's definitive MSA," and she based that off of really the DAT scan, which could be positive for Parkinson's too, by the way, but also what I was telling her what she can see. So you got to remember, as I'm trying to hold my phone here, not working too well. You got to remember, Parkinson's always starts in one side of the body. Now, she had to take some of my complaints a grain of salt, right? She had to believe what I told her, and I had no reason to lie. So Parkinson's starts on one side of the body. Multiple system atrophy is bilateral. It's on both sides when it starts, no matter what. That's your first clue. The second one's the DAT scan, right? And the third one was these autonomic issues, my slurring of my speech, um, things happening too quickly, some bowel movement issues, sweating issues, things like that that were I could feel, I could see, but you couldn't necessarily test for because we were really early into the onset of it. Right? So a little bit of space there. It's my cat in the background playing. So she, after the test and reviewing, she said definitive, clinically established MSA. It is MSA. Mayo Clinic, though, on the other hand, we went there, and the more of the story is if he couldn't test for it, he was not going to say what it was. On top of that, you can tell his emotions play a big part of it because he literally said it, he didn't want to give a death sentence to somebody. So he was erring on the side of caution. And at that time, my symptoms, my autonomic issues were on and off, on and off, on and off. But remember, when he gave me the young onset Parkinson's, he did that 1/3 of the way through the procedures, the test, which I don't understand. I never had a doctor do that. So he made a misinformed decision, which I don't like, saying no, it's YOPD because you have no autonomic issues that we can test for. But after the other 2/3 of the test came through, it proved my autonomic issues. So I chose not to really go back to Mayo because of that one doctor and his haphazard way of diagnosing without getting all the tests back first, which I've never seen in my life. I have some theories about that, but that's not for today. So, you just have to understand, by the way, if you have autonomic issues, you don't have Parkinson's. You can have Parkinson's, stay with me here. You can have Parkinson's. You can have Parkinson's with separate autonomic issues that are not related to Parkinson's. You can have heart failure and Parkinson's. You can have a weak bladder and Parkinson's. You can have a body that doesn't regulate the body temperature and Parkinson's. But you're not going to have compounded autonomic issues, right? My issues, especially right now, besides the Parkinson's, right, the masking of the speech, the tremors, the walking stability, gait, ataxia, all that, atrophy, all that stuff, forget all that stuff. The autonomic part of it, kidneys are falling apart, bladder isn't working well, gastrointestinal is iffy, it's starting, but it's iffy. My body can't regulate the body temperature from my legs down with the purple and the heat, right? Any type of heat and sunlight. And the frontal lobes are going. But frontal lobes is not, that's brain, but that's because of the deterioration. So when you get autonomic, multiple parts of the autonomic that are failing or having issues, It's not a one-off. And the hard thing is the hard thing for someone young, well, easy for somebody young. I'm 43 or 41 when it started, but I shouldn't have these issues at 43, not the autonomic issues. Yeah, you can have an issue or two, but not compounded issues. Everything happening at once so quickly. They know it's MSA because how quickly it started. The other systems that were autonomic issues, the organs and stuff that were becoming involved, right? These things don't happen in Parkinson's, right? And the onset, right? The other doctor at Mayo, he's like, oh, well, you should be in a wheelchair by now. I'm 43 and active, athletic. Like, no, I'm going to fight it way more longer than somebody who's the mean onset of the typical 58-year-old MSA person. You can't tell me 15 years and being athletic. I'm the only dad in gyms and sky zones and trampoline parks and playing basketball. The only dad. That one doctor, not Mayo Clinic, but the one doctor at Mayo, just he did things I've never seen and heard before. And, the tests that further other tests have come back and the other symptoms that have come up, like my purple feet right now, I'm looking at them. You know, I have no doubt if I went back, and I got an appointment in a couple of weeks. I don't know if I want to go to it, but not for him, but for Mayo. I'm pretty sure if I do the rest of these tests for the GI doctor and go back there, he would absolutely 110% agree it's MSA. I have no doubt. I just don't know if I want to give that doctor my time and patience and money at this point. And I'm being very, very specific about that. So, yes, it was clinically established in October of last year, 2022, because she saw things that other people didn't. So I hope that answers your question. Keep asking. I appreciate it.